Now, it's important when working with trauma to remember that there's no one size fits all for healing, but there is the potential for growth. In my last video, I talked about how we can transform our life situation into the actualization of our highest self. And today I'm specifically focusing on how we can positively grow from our suffering. So I had to deal with grief and loss at a really young age when one of my best friends died from brain cancer at 10 years old. I feel like this was a particularly confusing time for me because I didn't understand how or why. Like, I knew that old people died, but why would someone who hadn't even gotten a chance to really live be taken away? And I don't have the answers to this day, and I don't think anybody actually does. This loss really shaped me because as a child, I gained a deep understanding of the impermanence of life. I questioned, why did he die and I get to live? And this is a question I would continue to ask myself every day for the next 10 years of my life. Trauma often leads to deeper existential questions and shifts in perspectives. From my circumstance, I was forced to ask myself really difficult and philosophical questions. I constantly asked myself and God, like, why am I alive? Because of this loss, I spent a lot of my teens and young adulthood really trying to figure out my reason for living. Which is why I feel like in the here and now, I have a greater sense of purpose because I had confronted these questions really early on. I live every day to its fullest, and this experience is why. After Mitchell's death, I promised myself that I would not take this life for granted. And I remember thinking as a child that because Mitchell was now my guardian angel, that any experience I had, he would also get to have because he was always with me. Trauma can push individuals to explore new opportunities or life paths. Again, this really shook up the way that I looked at my life and my place in the world. And it's what led me to want to help people. This is why I live with courage and seek to experience the fullness of life, because although some situations may be difficult or challenging, I know that it's a blessing to experience it at all. Although the context may be different, we all experience grief and loss from trauma in some way or form. In a weird, twisted way, trauma is what makes us relatable and can connect us more deeply when we understand that we have all endured painful experiences, and none of us are promised tomorrow. I think this is why my family and friendships have always come first in my life. Trauma has a certain way of providing us clarity on what truly matters in life and who and what we value. Challenges can foster confidence and resilience. To even confront your trauma is an act of personal strength. When my anxiety is really bad, it manifests with paranoia of death. So I had to really reflect on my relationship with death and this specific trauma, and through this confrontation, I began my healing process. Many people miss this opportunity by repressing and numbing the pain, but the strength that comes from seeing all that you have survived and endured is very powerful, and it can give you insight on how your experiences have shaped the way you interact, behave, and make meaning of life. Now, everyone's growth looks different. There's no right way, and it's not linear, and unfortunately, there's no solution. But I want to share some factors that are helpful in fostering post-traumatic growth so that you can hopefully begin to consciously shape the way your past experiences are shaping you. I didn't go into it thinking that this event would be what I consider one of the most pivotal experiences of my life. But over time, I see how much it has shaped me and the person I am today in terms of my outlook on life. Not everything will make sense right away or even for a while, honestly, but I think an important part of healing is creating the meaning behind the suffering. I found that practicing self-compassion is essential because of the non-linear nature of the healing process. It's allowed me for greater flexibility in how I grow from my experiences because I'm coming from a place of love rather than guilt or shame. A mindset that has helped me shift to a more empowered place is believing that life is our greatest teacher, and I see trauma as the hard lessons. In ways I believe my soul chose these specific struggles to learn from. I wouldn't be put in these life situations if I wasn't capable of handling it and taking something valuable from it. And maybe that's just my way of coping with life's harshness, but finding the silver lining has really changed the way I've been able to heal because I don't feel like a victim or that the universe is against me. I feel like I am being challenged to find my power, and I hope you can do the same. So, having a mindset of openness allows you to see challenges as opportunities. Seeing how this trauma may have broken your original perception or reality or altered your perspective may also play a positive role because it can provide an opportunity of rebirth of the self. It's important to seek supportive communities or professional help during the healing process. When processing trauma, it's important not to re-traumatize yourself. So this is why I highly recommend seeing a professional, either therapy or some sort of trauma-informed setting. Activities like journaling or sharing your story with others can be tools for meaning making and will allow you to reflect on lessons to find from this adversity. In the article Post-Traumatic Growth in the Frame of Traumatic Experiences, it discusses how the traumatic experience can be viewed as a defragmentation of the self. This traumatic experience shook your reality or in ways made you feel separated or disconnected from yourself, which is why coping becomes so difficult. So activities like yoga, dance, art, singing, this offers ways to connect and express yourself authentically. The trauma, the hurt, the pain, it's being stored somewhere in your mind and body. And we can try to avoid, distract, or numb ourselves as much as we want, but this will never take the pain away. It will just spill out in unconscious and unintentional ways. So if there's one thing you take away from this video, I hope it's this. Growth arises from confronting and moving through the pain, not avoiding it. Post-traumatic growth doesn't mean the trauma was worth it or that pain is necessary for growth, but shows that growth and struggle can coexist. It's okay not to feel growth immediately or honestly even at all, but honor yourself for where you are right now and recognize that each day you choose to show up authentically is a win. I want to honor you for the courage that it takes to face pain and to remind you that this pain has the potential to pave the way for extraordinary growth. You do not have to let what happened to you define you. Stand in your power and define what happened to you. I used to think I lost someone the day Mitchell died, and now I know that I gained an angel who watches over me, and in many ways, he lives through me as I fulfill my purpose. There's liberation on the other side, and I'm wishing you peace, love, and light in your healing journey. I'm an associate marriage and family therapist in California, and my heart goes out to all of those affected by the LA fires. I'll be offering free therapy sessions to those in need during this time. You can schedule a consultation using my Psychology Today profile in the description down below. If you are not a resident of California but would like one-on-one insight on your personal growth, I offer personal development coaching to clients all over the world. Fill out the interest form in the description below. You can always reach out to me on Instagram. This is a great way to connect with me and receive daily wellness tips and reminders. If you haven't seen my last video about the alchemy of self-actualization and transforming what life has given you into your highest self, I recommend you go watch that video next. Take care. Bye!